Hi, friends. For the last 13 years, I have worked with dentists, coaching them on their marketing strategy and facilitating the execution of their marketing plans. And 98% of the time, it's a very smooth process and everybody's happy and excited. And then you have the 2%. And the 2% of times we run into uh, difficulty with just executing on these marketing plans and programs. And I will say we're not perfect. My team's not perfect, but we have really great proven systems that have been so clearly defined throughout the years. And what I've come to learn is that if people aren't happy with us and our communication, a lot of times they come back to us because they realize over time that maybe they had unrealistic expectations for the process, or that they just weren't ready to trust and let us do our job to any extent. And so we run into those issues. But I want to give you some advice. If you're just starting to work with a marketing agency, or you're just starting to think about your brand and intentionally building your reputation, here are 4 quick tips that will help you get there faster and see the results that you want while enjoying the process. So let's get started. The first tip today is get inspired. When you think about your brand, look at other logos, other styles, other practices. You don't have to look at the practice next door to you or someone who's in, direct competition. You can even look at a med spa. You can look at any kind of medical practice, or you could look at a hotel and you can look at their branding. Get inspired as you're thinking about the reputation that you desire to have and that you will build. I want you to first look outside and see what other people have done. That research process allows you to hone in on your own personal design and style preferences. So, just like if you were to hire me to pick out your wardrobe, I would need to ask you some questions. And we do send a questionnaire to get some information from you up front. And if that's all we get is that questionnaire without any specific style preferences, your first round of options is going to be just to show you variety, to show you some options, to get your feedback and to get your involvement, allowing us to narrow it down and learn more about your specific desires. So, step 1 is get inspired. And whether you have a Pinterest board of logos you like, or you have a color scheme that you like, you want to start somewhere. So just like I used a wedding example earlier, I'm going to use another wedding example now. If you were to hire a wedding planner, you would still be involved in the decision-making process, and you would probably even show a board of ideas or some vision of what you like, giving your design team and your planner some insight into your brain and your preferences. So that's number 1. Something I'm always telling my team is don't start with a clean sheet of paper. Grab inspiration from somewhere. If you're creating a logo or a postcard or a website, you want to get a style and an inspiration going. And then as you design your own way, the new product takes on its own life, its own shape, its unique thing. But nothing is really entirely 100% new. So start with inspiration, make sure you understand your brand and your reputation, and that will help you. Number 2, be aligned with your brand. Be very clear about your unique selling proposition. If one day we're talking and we're kind of doing our onboarding process and we're learning about your brand and your vision, and you go from wanting to offer comprehensive general dentistry to being a specialized practice who's totally focused on airway, those are going to be 2 totally separate brands. And so if from the initial conversation you've completely pivoted your service offerings and your intended reputation, you may need to really solidify your decisions and make sure that whoever is working to serve you has clarity on who you are and what you stand for. If you're changing that every 5 minutes, then the marketing is less likely to be strong and effective and resonate with you. So think about it this way. You've got to know yourself and know your brand and be strong in your brand before you can put it out to the world and to your team and to attract new patients. So be very committed to who you are and what you do before you engage in all of the marketing activities that surround that. Next, make decisions quickly. I have a whole video on this. If you click follow and you subscribe to our channel, you'll be able to see all of this great information, and I'm sure you'll start to see that video as well. But I go into detail in that video about decision making and how it lends to a successful business. And I'll say, you don't have to rush your decision making, but you do need to give yourself deadlines, and you do need to be confident in that process. Sleep on it for a night, but for most decisions, you don't want to sleep on it for a month. You want to find your people, find your advisors, make your decisions, move forward. You don't want to end up, let's say, hiring the people that are the most aggressive in follow-up or who seem to want the job the most. It's not always going to get you the best fit hire for the position. The book that I love to reference is Traction by Gino Wickman. And in that book, there are 3 criteria for employees. They've got to get it, want it, and be capable of it. And a lot of times we think that wanting it is more important than getting it and being capable of it, but all 3 matter. So again, make decisions quickly, but have a kind of decision-making process that you lay out for yourself that you can follow, so that you don't get stuck in this cycle of paralysis by over-analysis or perfectionism, the problems of a perfectionist. You want to be able to go and move. Next, allow time for revisions. Have realistic expectations for the people you're working with. If you act like you're the emperor and all of these little people around you are here to serve you, and you don't show appreciation, you won't have a team. You definitely won't last with top advisors who know what they're doing and are confident in their service offerings. So treat everyone with respect. And I don't feel like I should have to say this in a video, but I truly do, because this business ownership thing goes to people's heads sometimes, and they forget that we're all human beings. We all have the same worth, and we're all here with the intention to help each other. So if there's a difficult conversation to be had, be politely confrontational. Address whatever concern you have, and give the person that you're working with the opportunity to either explain the reason behind what they did, or if you're not a fit, move on. That's okay. But if you are this kind of person who is deathly afraid of confrontation and avoids difficult conversations at all costs, then you're going to have a very difficult time leading a team, serving patients. You're going to be hiding in a back office full of stress all day. So get used to having those tough conversations. There is a book by Marsha Reynolds called The Discomfort Zone. Big fan of that book. It's very helpful if this is you, if you resonate with this last obstacle. But stay positive, lead with appreciation. Even when you're having difficult conversations, you can say difficult things and you can confront even difficult people. And if you lead with appreciation and you're direct and honest and kind, then all of those obstacles just dissipate. It can be very frustrating to serve someone and do everything. And as someone who works with dentists, I would say, like I said, 98% are just amazing, appreciative, kind people that are in this space because they are caretakers. And then there's the rest. And maybe it's more than 2%, but there's the rest that think that everyone is here to serve them. And what can you do for me? And what have you done for me? And who are you? And when you breach a conversation that way, sorry, I got a little dog in here. When you breach the conversation that way, people are not going to want to serve you as much. So set the bar high for the people that you hire, not just your employees, but your advisors. Say, I know you're going to lead me in the right direction. I trust you to lead me in the right direction. And that will actually put the right kind of positive pressure on them to perform. Say, I have trust in you that you are good at what I hired you to do. And you tell me what I need to do to get to here, to get to there. And then listen to your advisors. They are not there to scam you or to hurt you. And if you feel that way about them, then you've got to find a way to establish trust with the people that you've hired. So set the bar high for people, have trust in them, communicate, have difficult conversations, ask the right questions, lead with appreciation, get inspired. Don't start from a blank sheet of paper, and always know your brand and your intended reputation. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.